Director Taiwan, the Orange Police Department. I want to thank you all for coming out. This is a great turnout. It is very encouraging to us at the Orange Police Department. And I thank you for coming out. I pray that your families and everything that you need, all your needs are being met, that you guys are staying safe, that you are, whatever service that you need from the city and from us, that you're receiving them. I'm going to be very brief. I want to just thank you guys for your support. I know that we're going through a lot as a country. And I want you all to understand, to know clearly, that the Orange Police Department does not condone police brutality. The Orange Police Department does not condone racism and all the other issues that plague our society. And we're working hard to build relationships with our community in spite of whatever's going on. I think 2 weeks ago we played the football game with the Black Lives Matter group. We let them win, bro. But it was a really good event because you saw community and law enforcement coming together as one. And that's what we have to continue to do. We are a human family, and our success is based upon our unified action according to a well-thought-out plan. It's imperative that we continue to work together. And our success at the Orange Police Department, Captain Vitiello will go over some statistics. But our success is based upon the mayor believing in our vision and supporting us. Our success is because the city council, they ensure that we have all the resources needed to do our job effectively and efficiently. Our success is because many of you utilize our confidential tip line. You can call in, send text messages or things of that nature to report crimes real time. So we're all working together as a community, and I want to continue to do so. But real quick, the Orange Police Department is one of the only departments in this region that has established a reentry initiative, an officer of reentry. And what that is folks that are returning home from incarceration need help. We have a component in place to help them make a smooth transition back into society. They pay their dues. They deserve help. They deserve resources in order to reduce the recidivism rate. I always say that we live in an insane society. We allow people they go to prison, they come home, we expect them to get a job. If they don't get a job, we mock, ridicule, and scorn them to try to help them. But the Orange Police Department is committed to helping those folks make a smooth transition back into society. And one of our first steps was, it was established several years ago when I first took over, but God has blessed us with a reentry coordinator with Dr. Ferguson, who we brought on board a few weeks, maybe a couple of months ago. Dr. Ferguson has over 20 years in reentry, and we're partnering with Councilman Montague, Velda Montague, who's been doing reentry for over 25 years. So we put together a great team. We've been meeting, we have a great structure, and I'm thankful to have these guys as a part of our operation. And we're making a lot of progress thus far. And lastly, we received a $1.8 million COPS grant, which will enable us to hire 16 new police officers. That will enable us to start different units, beef up the units that we already have, and increase our patrols. So I just want you guys to know that we are working hard to keep our city safe, to continue to build relationships with you guys. And I want to ask that you continue to support us, keep us in your prayers, continue to utilize our anonymous tip line. If there's an emergency, call 911. Some people call my cell phone, but you have to call 911 for immediate action. But I want to thank you guys, and with that, I want to call up Captain Vincent Vitiello to go over some statistics and some accomplishments and operations that we did in the city of Orange Township. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out. It's a pleasure seeing everybody out here. Good to hear you. My mouth's not big enough.
Bring it up.
There you go.
Hello.
As I said, thank you for coming out here. We really appreciate this. And I got to tell you, we do so love working with you. Really, so much. We love seeing your faces. We love seeing you out here. We love having the interaction. And our Community Service Bureau, the personnel we have in there, They're always here, always willing, and always looking forward to helping you out with each and every of your needs. That being said, as
Use your outside voice.
think so? They can hear me.
Do it loud.
So, what I'm going to tell you that, since the administration has taken over, the mayor, the director, crime in the last few years, you guys, everybody get a handout? We'll try to make some more. But crime has been going statistically down since 2011. Now, what happened in 2011, 2012, 13, we had layoffs and demotions. We created a police force of 96 personnel for this city. For our technical organization should be around 152. Crime was through the roof. Every year since then, since we had a new administration, we've been putting more cops on the streets, interacting with our community, putting new initiatives, new policies, new programs in place to assist our community. Because kids do not. That's our first and primary goal. Our goal is to serve and protect. I know in this time and age it sounds corny, but no. We take it serious. That's an oath I took to serve and protect. And I'll do that, and my men will do that for as long as they're here. And we take it seriously.
And women.
Men, whatever.
Women and men.
Well, do you want to include all the other ones that I should be saying too?
Go.
Very good. So, with that being said, we take it seriously. So, in the last few years, crime's been going down exponentially. Since 1989, crime has almost went down. I'm not using this thing. Crime has went down only over 70% since 1989. That's when I started. 1989. So this city is up and coming. This city is where you want to be. It's a beautiful city. We have 2 train stations. We have a beautiful Main Street. We have transportation hubs. It's going nothing but up. Our cops, we're here for you, like I said. Does everybody have a crime tip card? Crime tip card? We're going to hand them out too. It's very important. I get a lot of calls from the council people all throughout the night. We take the calls and we help you out. But it's much faster if you call the police desk or you call our number. Our hotline number is answered 24/7. As soon as you call, they'll pick it up and you will get assistance. We'll hand you out that card. We went down in crime from January of 2020 to July of 2020. We went 34% down in crime from the following year of the same time frame. So the cops are out there doing their job. Lieutenant Rogers, these guys have, Richards and Rogers, these guys I have behind me, they work in our task force. They're the guys behind the scenes that when you call, you don't see them in uniform, you see them in plain clothes. They're out there. They got a lot of stuff done. Usually the way it works is that if we have a hotspot, you complain about a hotspot, we will investigate it first. That's why sometimes it doesn't happen right away, because we want to get to the bigger problem. So what we'll do is we'll investigate it. If we have to do an entry, meaning we have to do a search warrant, or we do a lockup, we handle what we have to handle at that time, then we follow up with directed patrols, meaning we inundate the area with police cars so it doesn't come back. And a lot of times you see individuals back out on the street, it's because of bail reform. It's not the cops, they're doing their job. As soon as we lock them up because of the new bail reform system, we're letting them right back out. That will not stop us or keep us from doing our job. We'll lock them back up again as soon as we can. So, we want to keep you guys safe. Any questions? Thank you. Like I said, it comes from my heart. I mean it. We took this job. I'm invested in the city for 33 years. I've been here 33 years. I've seen the worst of the worst to getting great. And I'm telling you, it's between the council, the director, the mayor, and I gotta tell you, my men, I am so proud of my men. They take this job serious. Men and women, people, like police people.
Get it together.
Not to say PP. You know what that means. My PP. They are dedicated professional. And we have a young police department. A young, highly trained police department. That's why we really don't have many issues here in Orange with police complaints. Our men are highly trained and professional. That makes a big difference. They will continue to be trained, and they will continue to be kept at a high standard, so they can do their job for you guys, for the city and the community. And this is our pledge to you. Okay?
Cap.
What's the percentage of your men and policemen following? Men and women.
I don't have that. A lot of them do. I don't have that on me right now, except what a lot of them do. We'll be higher off of the city list first. Of police. Is that what you mean? Is that people from other police departments come over here? Where they reside, yes. It's, we go off the city list first with civil service. And once we exhaust that list, we need more individuals. We're going available from the city. Then we'll go to a county list. We'll hire a county list. I don't know, but I can get, if you call me, I can get that information.
When we call the front desk, when we call,
Dispatch, yes, sir.
yeah, that's 66411. Are we talking to a police officer or what's happening?
It's a communication force.
I'm not better than you. They're hanging up along with me.
It should be. If you don't have enough communications officers working at that time, or you usually not. Communications officers.
Soon as I saw your picture, I was smelling pizza and fried fish.
The question is, when you call 266-4111, are you speaking to a police officer or receptionist? And you said it's a...
A communications operator. They're trained.
So can they ask you for their name?
Of course.
Okay, so when you call, you should get a name. That helps us out as council people also, because we need to know who you spoke to. Okay? Oh, ID, and you can get their ID number, okay?
And I got to be honest with you, I'm glad you brought that question up because I'm as clear as clear can be. I've been having some issues with some of our communications operators, and I don't like the way they speak to people because they're a direct reflection of the director and myself. And I would never speak to anybody the way they do. So I need you guys, if you do call and come across somebody that's a little terse or coarse or downright disrespectful, I need you to get their ID number so I can look into it. Yeah, they have to. It's recorded. If they refuse to give you the ID number, call and answer me, and I will get it.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for taking my question. I'm Anthony Newley, 431 Park Avenue. I want to commend the Orange Police Department for their prompt response and call to the officer. They respond immediately.
That is very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My question. In what ways are community residents included in the decision-making process associated with community policing?
Question.
He wants to know in what way are the residents part of the system-making process in community policing?
That's why we're here tonight. We're satisfied with PCC, and we want to further. Officer Cherry, Detective Cherry, can we speak into how we move forward with the Community Service Bureau and the Community Watches, along with the CSB? Question was, moving forward, right, we're doing a BCC, but we're in the community decision making. Have you started the community meetings?
Outside voice.
COVID has been our first meeting.
Yes, I did.
I've talked to a couple of
What's
wards.
this child?
In the West Ward, they've been active on Zoom. When they needed me, I would join in the meetings. And that's the type of meetings we've been having so far. So until this pandemic eases up or whatever, if you would like to have a meeting like that, that's the way we'll do ours. We'll do it that way. You know, by Zoom or whatever other network they would like to use.
But our vision is to start community crime watch groups. We're in the process of doing that before this tragic pandemic struck. But we want to step up and move forward. This is fun for us. We like interacting. And we have a great community service bureau. So if you wouldn't mind, can you text Cherry with the number?
Yes, you can get my number and I will volunteer to assist the department. I'm a graduate of the Brooklyn School of Criminal Justice. I live here. But I am mostly connected with the Newark Police Department in my own community. So I'm trying my best to get to know someone within and volunteer my services if they need it.
We'd love that.
Okay?
We're going to get you your number. Yes, sir.
Captain Elliott, Captain Vinny.
Vinny's fine. Vinny's fine.
Yeah. I think what oftentimes what gets lost in these general comments.
Let's see if this will work for you.
Cap.
Yeah.
Cap.
Okay, see?
I think he's too far from the speaker.
Yeah.
Test one, test two. Okay. Captain, can you speak to
Crime in Orange comes from other towns in Essex County. Oftentimes when I'm talking about constituents, they think that a lot of this crime is homegrown. People don't understand the situation where Orange is, where we're geographically situated in Essex County, and how that affects crime.
Thank you. He wants to know how individuals from outside the city of Orange, how it affects crime in Orange. That's a good question because it does. We have a lot of individuals come from Newark, East Orange, and Irvington come into the city and try to do their dirty work here. And that's why we have these guys here. And we have our specialized units that work hand in hand. We have a partnership with federal and county agencies. And where we address this issue. So we do have a good idea of who belongs here and who doesn't. And our guys work that information up and they take the necessary investigative actions, and then hopefully it'll work itself out where we get rid of that problem.
I just want to bring to everyone's attention that there's a large percentage of our crime in our town is not initiated by people from Orange.
It's not correct.
Thank you.
Right. And a lot, some of that crime, when you see assaults, a lot of that crime too, with the assaults, also involves domestics. So it's not like they're coming into the town and beating you up. It doesn't get listed as a domestic. It's just an assault. It's supposed to be an aggravated assault.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Here's Lieutenant Brian Mooney. He's in charge of our Special Operations Division.
Just to add on to some of the crime that has from out of town. Obviously, certain things have happened in this city over the last few years, which were a combination of, for the reason of drop in crime, was the assistance from the community, the tip line, proper people following up when they had to. The redevelopment has really assisted in a drop in crime, but also we see a lot more now than we have, and I've been doing special operations for quite a while in the city of Orange. We definitely see an uptick in people who come from a surrounding jurisdiction and use the city of Orange as their stopping ground. That's why, as the detectives are handing out those tip line cards, it is everyone's responsibility to make us aware of it. We will go out there, we'll be looking, but if you want to confidentially speak to a detective, you can call them, you can let them know what's going on, and I promise you we'll investigate it. I call the tip line myself just to check on my guys sometimes to make sure they're answering. Make sure, and they do. Every now and again, if it doesn't pick up, I get the call back in a few minutes. But I will say, if you're not satisfied with sometimes calling a regular number related to crime, or the follow-up you got from a patrol division, you're going to each get that card. Please keep it with you and call it. You'll get special attention confidentially. I don't ask a name if you don't want to deliver it. I don't need it. It's our job to follow up on that investigation confidentially. It's not me asking you to cooperate in any way except tell us your concern, and they will follow up. Each one of them, when they're handpicked for the division, has to have a background in some type of community service, investigations. They must not have certain complaints and things of that nature, because we are not going to be successful without the assistance of people from the community. So as far as out of town, it definitely is going on. We are definitely aware of it, especially in the last few years when our crime's going down. Now we don't have as many, so we start to see where the suspects are coming from, and a lot of where we used to have certain factions within the community, which we were aware of. Now some of those factions have moved on for whatever reason. I don't really need to know why or where. It's now we're seeing some other surrounding jurisdictions that have used it as a stomping ground, and we will investigate, and we will let them move on back to wherever they came from, and we will keep it Orange related in our way to protect our citizens, and we'll deal with Orange as Orange. So if any questions for me or my special operations division, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I'll wait.
My name is Anissa Rodriguez, and I've lived in Orange my entire life. I will have a question that's following up to what this gentleman said, and I would like to direct it to Detective Cherry. In concerning I'll wait for you to come this way. Concerning the community outreach aspect of what we call policing, we're part of the West Ward Neighborhood Watch, and we have invited you to multiple meetings, and you're able to show up for one, but we have many more after that. My question is, how can we improve holding our police officers accountable for including the community and their interests personally in situations where we have a community outreach and we are advancing that, but we're not hearing a response that is concerned with advancing this relationship?
This is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you. We're going to set up monthly meetings, if that's okay with you, or bi-monthly. We're going to give the charity, and I will make sure they are attended.
Can Detective Cherry respond as well?
I believe we had 2 meetings. Okay, but Mr. Townsend said he would not reach out to me unless he needed me in the meeting. That's what he advised me. I even spoke with him. Yes, I even spoke with him prior to this to make sure that you guys were aware the meeting was going on. But he said, and I was on the line when you guys said we're going to have one every Tuesday. But he said, Cherry, I will not reach out for you, your sergeant, on your staff, not unless we need you on the meeting line. So that's why I haven't been, joining you, because he didn't reach out, and I asked him, was everything good? He said everything was fine. So I have been speaking to him. Okay, but we're willing to do whatever, even if you don't need us on the line, just send me the codes, I will jump in there anyway. And if I have to be silent, and I'll listen and report back to my supervisor, my commander, and the director. I have no problem with that. But this came from the gentleman, Cherry, when we need you, we'll put you on the line.
Okay, and my second, a follow-up question to that. I don't know if everyone's aware, but Newark is creating a police civilian board, which they established to include, to replace qualified immunity in New York. So what I
we're always willing to meet, really, in every aspect of our police work. We are. But with that being said, with the whole process before we go through something like that, like a PCC, we have to look at the mayor, the director, and that may be a question you may want to ask the council people or the mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, for when it's going to get tabled. You know, when it's going to get tabled and brought. So all these things that you're discussing now, don't think it's not in the closet or the background. We're aware. We're trying to move forward and evaluate with your opinions, whatever you talk to us about. We're not sleeping on this.
Thank you.
I mean, I know we're not that speeding wheel sometimes, but we're on it.
That I think you're speaking about, it was on our agenda for first reading, but we thought there were some legal issues that needed to be looked at, so we pulled it so those legal issues could be looked at by attorneys to make sure that when we bring it up again for a vote, that it can be legally and it can be in the proper form. So it was there. We did pull it. It was on the agenda for first reading. It was pulled. It was decided it was going to go back to the law department for them to look at it. And then once they approve it, then it will come back to the city council. And then at that point, you know, it's a vote. So it will be a first reading where it's either voted up or down. And then after that first reading, it comes back within 20 days for a second reading. And at that point, if it goes up or down, that depends on or determines if it's going to be codified as law. So that's where we are in that process.
The following question, if you want, get hold of Officer Cherry, Detective Cherry, and we could do, we'll be there once a month.
I'm sorry.
With the meeting, that you said you like to participate more in the meetings, community meetings, we could be there once a month, whether we need it or not.
Okay.
Just to be there for you guys.
All right, we'll keep it there.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe it's related. Can you hear me?
Very good.
Maybe it's related to the same thing because I need a little clarity with regard to that discussion that you're having because I am interested in how the community becomes more involved in the decision-making process, more so than just being on the community watch or the neighborhood watch, whether we're part of a community board, a community awareness board. It might be the same thing, I don't know, but I think that there's a way of moving forward with community participation aside from a first read and a second read and a third read. I think there's a way of having communities as a part of a board, hearing and participating in the policing of the community, particularly with relations to, and I want to say first, I see you more than I used to, so I want to thank you for that. I do see you, I see the visibility, and I appreciate the visibility, because I'm scared anyway, but it's nice to kind of see you kind of roaming around, and so I appreciate that, but quality of life issues. So I think there's a way of establishing a community participation board in addition to whatever the specificities that you're talking about. The second issue, which is more on my mind with regard to health, is the quality of life issue. As the community opens up, we are going to have more people in the street, and it is important. It is a life and death issue, the mask, and how are we going to be, and I know this is not something that you might be directly concerned with, but how are we going to enforce the mask issue as we begin to have more and more people on the street? And I live near the park, so I'm in this border of if you step in the park, it's no longer your jurisdiction. And if you're on this side of the park, it is your jurisdiction. Quality of life is important to me. And I want to live, as Susan Hayden said. I want to live. So is there some pieces that you're addressing there? So two issues. Being able to participate in the decision-making beyond this one and second and third reading, and quality of life issues as it relates to health.
So we really want to get that piece right. So there's legislation from the Newark board that's at the Supreme Court now. So we wanted to watch what they were going to receive or what they were going to possibly kick out before we put something into effect, and then we have to redo it all over.
Can you explain what that is?
What is it? So, whenever Newark put their board up, and I'm going to ask the mayor to come up because it's legal, and I'm not an attorney, and I don't want to be giving legal advice without being an attorney. So, Mayor Warren. That's right. So can you explain to Dr. Bozeman and the other people here, like, the legality of what it meant for that to go to the Supreme Court? I think that's your question, right?
This is the Civilian Complaint Review Board?
Yeah.
So, everyone hear me?
Yes.
The Civilian Complaint Review Board, a number of towns have put them forward, and there have been a number of people in opposition, mostly FOP, police forces, and others. And this time it went up to the Supreme Court to say it's not legal because nothing in New Jersey statutes gives citizens any right for internal affairs review of the police department. That's given to a particular department in the police department, and that's how it's statutorily written. The ones that were put forward, the civilian complaint review boards that are put forward, gives one gave citizens the right to hire, to fire, to get a conviction on the record. They're pretty extensive. Those were challenged, and they're sitting at the Supreme Court right now to determine what is the length and breadth of a civilian complaint review board. What can you do? What can you not do? We expect that the Supreme Court is going to give guidelines on what is acceptable and what isn't. And at that point, it's time for the community to come together and say, okay, of the acceptable things, what do we want to do? So that is an appropriate time for us to get involved, an appropriate thing for the citizens to be involved as well to determine what we would do, if anything at all, at that point. So legally, that's where that is. With respect to your question about enforcing the restrictions regarding the coronavirus, that is critically important. Everyone knew where the numbers were very high. Orange is down pretty low. It's mostly because we closed our parks and we were strict about people coming out very early on. Now that we've opened up and you're required, you'll see on every door, you'll see you must wear a mask to get inside. The reason for the sign is not only to warn you and to bring your attention you must have a mask on, but when the warning is there, it gives us enforcement power. It gives the health department enforcement power and the police enforcement power. And it is critically necessary. If you go throughout the South, it's mainly because they opened up their business and they did not enforce the masks. We have to continue to enforce that. I think that the government is going to come down pretty swiftly and strongly, even through the fall, about wearing your mask at all times. It's kind of your decision if you go out in public when you're going to take a run or if you're out in public generally, but it's a must if you're in the park. It's a must if you're in any kind of building that the public can go into. Now remember, some parks are county parks. Orange Park is a county park. The city parks, we're going to have the same rule that you have to wear a mask. We're meeting right now with the lawyers to determine when we put the police in the parks and we put park monitors into the park. So I'm looking at we have crossing guards already, to also make them park monitors just about the masks. So with the lawyers right now to determine how we do that in a way that's constitutional, so that we don't violate anyone's rights and laws, but that we really enforce masks in public places, including our parks. Everyone, all of the experts expect that the numbers will go up as we go throughout the fall. The Board of Education is going to start to unleash what their program is for our children. Those touch points are where we're going to have to really be aggressive about how we protect ourselves in terms of COVID-19. I know, is Ms. Johnson here? I know Ms. Johnson will probably scold me because this was not on the agenda, but as I get an opportunity to talk about it, I want to talk about it because it's critically important for us all. So, excuse me, Ms. Johnson, but I had to get that. Are we giving out any masks to people who don't have them as they're walking? I am right now waiting a shipment of 5,000 masks that I want to have a batch in every police car with a fire apparatus apparatus. You come with me right now. I have some in my car because I give them out on a regular basis. So I'm going to get a shipment. It's the blue ones like you have now.
Yeah, and not even the ones, but there's people at the train station, because I take the train and I go into New York, and some people are standing there, they don't have a mask, and I'm like, it would be nice, the train stations don't have, they're not open now, but it would be nice if we have something there for them to even grab a mask to get on a train or wherever. It would be nice.
Should we have like a dispensary or somewhere, places like the train station, people should get masks? That's something we can look into and work on here at the train.
No, I think men and day because people walk up and down Main Street without masks. So I think men and day, if you could have someone there to hand masks to
Well, we have police that patrol Main Street regularly, and they'll have masks.
What was the question?
On Main Street, we have someone to give out the masks. That's what I want to have police cars.
If you had masks,
I'm there, Warren. So when the schools reopening in the fall, will there be crossing guards by the old Maryland School where the STEM Academy will be? Will there be orange crossing guards?
Will there be crossing guards by the STEM school? There are STEM schools actually in South Orange where we have an orange crossing guard there. We're working with South Orange to have to work out who's paying half and half. It'll either be an orange person or South Orange from the police department. Not that I'm entitled to, but I'll take any questions.
Are you saying? You know that. They break the law. They pay for it.
We live on Haywood. Haywood Avenue, one of the Western hospitals. Current employment situation has totally changed the situation since we got there. I'll be very clear. When we moved to Haywood Avenue 3.5 years ago, we reported a problem with two properties that were in between. Quality of life issues, not speaking of the truth. It has not changed. It has not gotten better. We have consistently shown up. I show up to your meeting. I show up to the Zoom meetings in the neighborhood. I'm really here. I felt like I was going to give up. The young lady that I met here, Lisa, discussing today, her issues. She reinvigorated me to come here to speak to say there are like all these different arguments. Nothing is unified from my perspective of being here 3 months. My neighbor has been here since 1973. When we moved in, the houses were abandoned for 6 years. Our area took that as it is now their designated area to have community events, not our community, outside people coming in, having events 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. My husband has to get up at 7 to do some patients in assisted living facilities. My neighbors are senior citizens who normally lights out 9, latest 10. We can't do that. We complain to we bring our concerns to the council people. We send them video. When the police show up, they are not issuing tickets to these people that have consistently been the same exact two properties that we've made since we've gotten here 3.5 years ago. They now have weaponized it, and now we're the racists. Now, because we need to sleep and work, now we're racist. So now it's turned into a whole other thing where now they're telling other people racist, racist, racist. That's putting us in danger because it has not been addressed for 3.5 years. So they're saying it has to be you. Because when the police come, we're not getting tickets. We're not being shut down. Our call starting at 10. Our call again now at 11. At 12, still there's no one there. So they take it as it has to be you're the problem. We're not being shut down. Consistently for 3.5 years, I've been saying the same thing to the same people. So I'm at a point like now we're targets. Now they're going around telling people, oh, this property here. Oh, they're in front of my house singing at 3 in the morning. I have it on video.
You
Noise or worse than crime?
Noise is a crime.
I know, I'm just saying, worse now.
But see, this is what's being broken down, right? When I call, I speak to people. First of all, they're saying you're the only one that's called. Incorrect, because 2 properties down. You know how I know 2 properties down? When I went to go speak to the people to be neighborly, they pointed out the house. They said, "Oh, they're not invited because they keep calling the police." That was 3.5 years ago. A quality of life issue is a crime and it's not being taken seriously.
No, you misunderstood what I said. I didn't mean that it wasn't a crime. I'm saying there are many other issues there. Besides that, you're saying there's a lot of crime. It's not getting better. And I don't want people to be misconstrued.
And see, this is where we end up again, is that I'm speaking specifically to
Wait, Captain Dunn's waiting.
And here's where we are again, is that you're trying to put us, these 2 properties here, against them, when it should be very clear.
Here's the situation. The situation is that we come out, you call the police department noisy.
Can we all hear?
No.
All right, here's the situation. There is a place where there is noise constantly calling the police, constantly complaining at all hours of the night in violation of the ordinance. Police come, sometimes they don't hear the noise at that level and cannot do anything. Other times they come, they can make them turn it down. But in order to elevate this matter to where a complaint or summons is issued, there has to be someone who witnessed the violation to sign off on a complaint. I think, is that where you are now?
That's right,
With
Mayor.
someone being the actual resident?
Whoever heard the noise, whoever can witness to say, I heard this loud noise at this hour.
Now, if you complain against our neighbor, we have to sign something that says we are making the complaint against you.
If we want a complaint issued or summons issued.
Wait. One question at a time. When the person signs the complaint, is it public knowledge? That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
When you say unreasonable, it seems what has come to my attention, there's different arguments. Because when I speak about folks that have been to 2 folks that have been here, they're saying like, we're in 7 Oaks, well that's the Beverly Hills, that's nothing. It should not be the measure of the worst part of Orange to the best part of Orange. It should be when you're saying, when the person that you're saying, but you're saying that they said that it's not that bad. It is that bad. If it's the worst over there, that's not my problem. What we're saying is it is bad where we are. If someone's being murdered over there, what I'm saying is do not diminish our quality of living because over there, there's someone being murdered. And it's not happening in 7 Oaks.
I think the mayor has a solution.
Again, you're putting it on us to do your job. That's what I'm saying. Then they never have in 3.5 years. They never have. 12 o'clock midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. We're sending videos. How is that now?
All right. So wait.
Hold on. I think the mayor has a solution.
So speak, and then we'll have to keep on talking. It's not
Still need to address the complaint.
Just listen. Wait, just one second. What we want is what we want these meetings to be, we understand it. Everyone has a concern. But we're not going to get anywhere if people are not stop and listen. You have to listen. I get the call. I call the police myself. However, there are things and there are ways that have to be done in order for their change to be made. So we're trying to find out what legally can be done. If you're saying you don't want to be the person that writes the complaint because you feel as though it's going to be you you have a
and they're
complaint,
saying, come bring your people.
we need to
It's
hear your
not
complaint.
safe.
But what I'm saying is, if you have a complaint, we need to hear your complaint. Anything else, it has nothing to do with your complaint. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Actually, it does, because they're actually harassing him online.
Listen, that's why we need to stay off of those sites on Facebook and things that are not. Listen, if you go into those sites, listen, I'm trying to tell you. If you go on social media and you go on certain sites, those of you that are new to Orange, you might not know. Okay? Those sites are not people that live in Orange. They have other agendas. And it's not the proper way to discuss when you're giving out addresses and you're saying, I'm having a problem. That to me is putting yourself in danger to say, I'm having a problem with this person. There has to be a better way for us to deal with it, because I wouldn't want my address on social media as you having a problem with me. I don't want to put your address. So what I'm saying is, I am the South Ward Councilwoman, and I am very familiar with this noise complaint. Thus, I have met with and tried. We are trying our best. It's not going to happen overnight. There was noise at that particular house at 4:30 in the afternoon, and it was loud. And I don't live close enough for it to be that loud. So trust me, it's not going ignored. It's just not moving fast enough. Mayor.
Can I just address before you go? I just want to address that particular issue in terms of noise. There is a great concern as a resident, especially a neighbor. If someone breaks in my car, I don't mind filling out a complaint. But when the person I see every day when I'm bringing out my garbage, I may have a problem filling out a complaint and being a witness and having to go to court with a neighbor. I understand that. That particular area is close enough to a school and a hospital, and after doing the research from hearing about this, I've spoken with the director and he's preparing to name that a quiet zone. So what a police director is able to do under the law, if you're near a hospital, if you're near a school, and I believe some places of worship, you can issue a notice that says this is a quiet zone. And the enforcement and the level of noise you're able to make gets reduced. I can have a party loud, all that I want, up until about 10 o'clock at night, then I have to turn it down. In a quiet zone, you have to do it earlier. You have to make less noise. There's more enforcement. I spoke to the director. They're now printing quiet notice signs. You're going to get one in situations like this. I usually go out door to door myself. You're going to get one on your doorstep in the quiet zone. It will not be the entire area, but I look specifically for that area and another area where there are constant noise complaints and it's identifiable, but the noise is happening sometimes during the day because we were all at home with COVID, so it's a particular annoyance, but they were doing it within the law. If it's a quiet zone, it gives us more flexibility and more enforcement power. And in that particular area, that's what's going to happen, and it's right around the VA house.
Mayor. You can go.
Me or him?
I can't.
Oh,
Just to follow up with what my neighbor was complaining about, the online harassment is still a crime, because this thing happens to children, and when it happens to children and they kill themselves, those people are prosecuted for harassment. Just the same way, when you're on Facebook and you're not naming anybody's names, everybody's names are still listed because that's Facebook's rules. So in order to say that it's not a crime for someone to harass someone online,
No, we never said that. That's
It
why.
is a crime.
it is a crime, and people need to be prosecuted for it, because it continues to happen to our neighbor, and literally at every single one of our meetings, he's saying the same thing. I mean, we've tried to say it as much as possible. I mean, outside of it being a quiet zone, he doesn't want to harass his own neighbors by going to the police and then making that
Well,
problem to live with.
when someone's committing an offense, it's not harassment to go to the police.
Yes, of course.
He's doing the right thing by raising the issue.
Well, when it's your
But
neighbor,
online
you have to see this person. You said it.
online harassment is a separate crime. This is a disorderly person under the ordinance. This harassment is what's called a 2C crime or a felony. That you have to go to the police and you have to fill out paperwork. But that we can handle it a little bit.
And I would say that for the police, I forget who it was, that said that they didn't have a record of it. We have multiple videos that we sent as recently as today to everyone on City Council.
I have the videos. Yes. I have Facebook. I have everything.
And they're timestamped.
And the record that would just be something that they use in court. Yes. But if we get to court, then you got to be a witness. You have to sign a complaint against a neighbor. I think we handle it this way.
Is there any mechanism? Mediation? Because that's what really needs to
happen. I'm glad you asked that question. As a municipal prosecutor, the state just developed a mediation program. It's going to be piloted in certain towns. I don't think Orange is one of them, but it's supposed to come online in about 30 days, where community disputes like this just go to a meeting. I'll keep you abreast of it.
Because people have these issues with neighbors, and you don't want to, throw your neighbor into this situation, because that's going to make a horrible situation for the rest of your life.
Okay, so we live in the Head City Loft, and the building on Nassau Street, exact 575 Nassau Street. They had over a couple of weeks, they had huge parties there. It's over 100 people in the building during COVID. And actually, when we call police, you guys always come, so thank you very much. But with regards to the quiet zones, the flyers you say you're going to be handing out, we are next to the church, next to school. And these parties go on till like 5 in the morning. So would that be one of the areas?
I'd like to talk about that.
I'm like,
and it's easily over 100
Vinny, Captain Vinny.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. So it's the building next to us.
Okay.
I have a question about noise. Yeah. No, so we live that's what we call the parties that are disturbing. So it's the building at 575 Street. It's the red brick. Right. And you guys always call when we call, so thank you for setting our nights. So every couple weeks, every few weeks, they have garden gatherings, and the rest of the things they have.
It's a very good point about the noise ordinance. The noise ordinance actually says 10 o'clock is absolutely unreasonable. But the ordinance also says that if it's disturbing to the average person, at any time. But I don't know that when you call dispatch, they're as trained in the ordinance as they ought to be. And for that, I'm going to make sure that we undergo the proper training so they know what the rule is. But the other part that I've heard is that if you go to dispatch, and they shouldn't say there's nothing we can do. They shouldn't say, well, so what? For that, I want that addressed pretty directly by our commander. I want to give you his cell phone number so that when you have those issues,
I told him so. That's how serious I am.
How was you gonna do it? If you don't talk to the top, you're not really talking about it, right?
I'm ready.
What's his cell phone?
Text him first.
I'm ready.
I already had to tell my wife. This is my girlfriend. My work phone.
Are we ready for the number?
Yes.
862.
Wait.
Hold on.
I'm calling you now. That's my number.
862 400 1918. 400-1918. That number once again is 862. You gotta get your pen, the one that writes. 862 400 1918. 862-400-1918.
Also, when you do make that phone call and they are nasty with you, make sure you get their ID number, the time of day.
Do not argue with them. Sir, madam, thank you. I'll just check in with the commander and get my grievances addressed. 862-400-1918. You all have my number already, 862-373-0025. The mayor's number. 862-373-0025. 862-373-0025. If I don't answer, please do text me.
Mr. Mayor.
Hold on, Billy. Hold on, Billy.
I got to commend you first of all.
Billy, wait, Billy. All right. We got people answering questions. You can't come in our meeting late and start asking questions.
I got you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Our resident expert on your mask. Your mask, a test to determine whether your mask is effective. You should not be able to blow out a candle through your mask.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Can we get a camera by Scotland and Morris? I'll be able to answer your question about the 1st of August when we'll roll out camera program, but invite the public to understand what it means, where they're going to be deployed, and how questions issued.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I wanted to thank the Orange Police Department. I was a victim of crime. There was a car that was petrol pumped outside my home, and my window was blown out. And the police were very good. Thank you, Officer Slaven. Thank you, Grapes. Thank you to all the people that were down at the police department. It was very challenging to deal with, but they dealt with me, and they were very kind. So, I am well and safe. My window is now being repaired, and I do notice that on Jefferson Street that the police come at least 3 times for the night. 2 o'clock I see them, at 4 o'clock and I see them at midnight. So I know that they police the area, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Secondly, I wanted to ask, because there's 2 things. The speeding on Scotland Road. I don't know if there is going to be any change in the speed limit, because people do whiz down there, and there's not enough traffic lights or anything like that, or even humps on the road. And then thirdly, is are we going to get more garbage receptacles? Orange has a very big problem with littering. People just eat their food, they throw the food down on the floor, and it's just, and I know that as a resident, I've noticed rat infestation, so I want to know if we're going to see more garbage receptacles, especially with people throwing away gloves, masks, things of that nature.
I'll speak directly. Scotland Road, the conditions on Scotland Road have to improve. Everything from litter to... Can you hear me over the alarm?
Yes, we can hear you.
Scotland Road and the conditions on Scotland Road, making it cleaner, making it safer, and giving it a better look. We're going to announce a new initiative on Scotland Road, which would have more receptacles, it'll have more enforcement, it's going to have more resources to help maintain some of the properties on Scotland Road. It's going to be aggressive, and we're going to get complaints for a period of time, but we think it's necessary, especially on Scotland Road. It's a county road, so we're trying to get the county to see if they'll put humps in the road to try to slow some of the speeding. But that's going to be a while. But the enforcement and the litter issue, we're going to take care of that, and there will be more receptacles throughout town. But there's a focus on Scotland Road because we got other funds to put it through as well.
I first want to say that I call our police department very often. I call them all the time. I call them if the noise is loud. I call them when my neighbors are fighting. I understand what it's like to not want to be the person as the caller, but I live there, so I'm going to call because I want to be comfortable where I live at. And the Orange Police Department has been very effective. They're always at my house again because I call the police. I live there. I'm going to call and I'm going to sign a complaint because I live there. That's number one. So thank you guys for always coming when I call.
We appreciate it. Thank you. We thought you worked there.
I don't work there, but I mean, I've been labeled on my block because I call a lot. But I live there. My kids live there. I'm paying taxes. I want to be comfortable. I want to sit in my yard. I don't live in Seven Oaks, and there's not murders on my block, but I still want to sit there without feeling like uncomfortable or not feeling safe. And so I do feel safe on my block, and I live on the corner because when I call, they come. That's number one. Number two, can I please get speed bumps on my block?
Russ Monica.
Russ Monica.
Russ Monica.
Yes.
You can pull it. You're off the.
Because I have put
The question: can we get speed bumps on Russ Monica? Probably won't happen. There are a number of streets represented right now that are longer, have more speeding issues, have more kids involved. So if speeding bumps are going to happen, they probably won't happen on Russ Monica, given the size of it. But the process is, we'll still go through the process where the engineer will come out, they'll do a street study, they'll do an impact statement in terms of the budget, and there'll be a determination made. RFP will go out if it's determined it will be. The servicing company will come in and they'll install it. That's the process, but it probably won't happen on Russ Monica. Yes. In the South Ward, streets like Haywood is where a study is undertaken.
I was like, can you take it? All right, right here.
I wanted to ask about nonviolent crime enforcement. For example, today I got a ticket in South Orange for $45 because the meter expired immediately. And then when we went to Main Street, my mother parked and she paid the meter for about 15 minutes. But all the vehicles in front of us, one including an orange recreation van, was parked outside the post office, and most of those meters didn't work.
In front of a meter?
And yes, it was most of those meters didn't work. The people who were parking there did not pay. And thinking about the $45 ticket I got just down the street, if people, violated their laws about 5 times a day, that's $500 for South Orange, and you see how South Orange looks. So I'm just wondering if there's going to be more enforcement. I do understand that crime is important as a whole, to keep us safe, but what also keeps us safe is having resources, and when it comes with resources, money has to be, collected to get that. Can we get some kind of rundown about how they're going to be enforcing those kinds of laws so we can make more money?
Can you say that again?
I said,
we don't give out enough tickets.
She's like, what?
They don't, but also,
because I don't have a permit.
Also, and see, that's another thing, because they're giving tickets to citizens for, like they have to pay their own, they have to pay for repairs to their own properties, things like that. That's the kind of thing that happens to our citizens. But people who come, whether they're citizens or not, they park, they violate that, and we could be making more money off of that. And the coin slot for the, the meter, the coins are stuck in there. They're broken. And up and down Main Street, a lot of those meters are broken as well. So what are we going to do? Even if we can't get those fixed, can we have some of these policemen go and monitor that? Because I saw police were circling the block right after we walked away from Main Street. There was police going up and down. Nobody stopped to see who was breaking the law on that aspect. So can we get some more? What are we going to do about that?
Meters on Main Street and throughout the town. During COVID, there was leniency about enforcing the meters just because you were under COVID-19. Since we have opened up Main Street, that leniency will no longer exist. Well, it might exist for about another week or 10 days because we're doing a study to see which ones are broken and which ones are fixed. And I am impressing upon the business administrator and the police director to publish our report on the meters. Here's what's broken, here's what needs to be fixed, and here's what our enforcement schedule is going to be. So for about another 10 days, we will have some leniency. But after that, it'll be aggressive, just because we have to make sure that we enforce the law and we don't have people overstaying on the meters, because we want other people to come in and be shoppers in the community. So that's going to change very soon, and it'll happen after they do the sidewalk sale that's coming up on Main Street as well. But yeah, that's going to be an issue, and I'm trying to press to see if we can get the meter report published so the public can have an appreciation for what kind of revenue it brings in and why we need to get them fixed so often.
Let me just say that every time I call my Orange Police, they come, and then if I have to call them back in 15 minutes, they come again. So I want to pat Captain Vinny on his back, and his guys, they are helping us have a great quality of life.
Thank you very much.
Doing a job.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Arthur.
Okay.
That applause is for you.
People drive through this town as if they're on a race course. On Lincoln Avenue, on Tremont Avenue, on Lincoln Avenue, the car was going so fast it hit the guy up in the air, and he's out of focus for the longest time. They drive on the street, Tremont Avenue. I had suggested years ago, they used to have a police at the corner of Mosswood and Tremont Avenue, and we used to raise a lot of funds like that, because people drive on Tremont Avenue as if they're on a racetrack, and Lincoln Avenue, and the roads are horrible on Lincoln Avenue. On Lincoln Avenue, and they've done nothing about that. And people have to be careful on Lincoln Avenue. I mean, it's disgraceful. Where's the police? So we need more police.
I'll get that stepped up traffic moderator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way how you put everybody on warning about their house and whatnot, I'm going to put you on warning. I've been living here for 4 years. 4 years. And in the 4 years, we have talked about Tremont Court. We have been talking about fixing that block, that street. I pay a lot of taxes. I am so pissed every time I turn on that block and see that block looking like that. Every year I give a complaint. I call so much that I keep, here's a number, here's another number, call this number, call this number. I am so sick of it. So I want to put you on blast. I'm going to give you a warning. I need that street fixed.
On warning. Tremont Court. I go out and fix your house. She's saying go out and fix Tremont Court.
That's how you get your street done.
And the street light.
It has been years about the complaint for Tremont Court, and finally I was able to sneak Tremont Court into our paving program that's happening. So finally Tremont Court is going to get
You're not tired of hearing about every
Every time we pay those taxes, we ask about that.
And the street light. Yeah, we've been telling you that for 4 years.
No, but I never did study it.
It's right there, the court, by the
It's
fire.
it's at the corner, right in the middle.
We need the street light and we need
I need to get that. I got to come
street
through
light.
with the engineer.
It's the mayor's hotline. So you can call for non-emergencies. Miss Stacy Martin is who you will speak to 24 hours a day.
I answer 2 o'clock.
She answers 2 o'clock. What I love about it is if it's a North Ward issue, South Ward, whatever, she calls the necessary people, but she keeps the council in the loop. And again, that she answers it. It's a real life person. So Stacy, can you please give the mayor's hotline?
973-280-1621.
One more time.
973-280-1621.
973-280-1621. Mayor's hotline, 24 hours. That is for non-emergency. If there's an emergency, call 911. But anything else, 973-280-1621. And a live person will answer. Now, sometimes she's on a call, so you may have to call back, but she's going to answer. Come on up, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Please give Stacy Martin a big hand.
Thank you, Stacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't close this out without having a word from our chief organizer, someone who's advised us on the PCC and made this happen. Please welcome, where is Ms. Johnson?
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. I'm Maxine Johnson. As they have indicated, I have been on the case of everyone trying to get our PCC back on task. We had a number of retirements over the years, and we kind of, left us hanging, but we're back. And even today, in retirement, my mentor is here. She's still here, Elizabeth Jackson. But anyway, I want to thank all of you, all of the police department, everyone. Did I see Captain Bozier? Did I see Captain Bozier? Well, Captain, was he here earlier? I thought I saw him. Anyway, our Captain Bozier, who was in a terrible, terrible accident, is back with us, and I'm just so thankful that he has recuperated and is back. This evening we have Miss Pat Arthur with us. Pat Arthur, raise your hand. Woo! Councilman Raw, is he here? Cliff?
Yeah, Cliff Ross is here.
Okay. They are here. They are here willing to sign up anyone who has not registered to vote. So please see, Pat Arthur, put your hand up. Cliff Ross, put your hand up. Councilman.
Anybody here who wants to register to vote?
Anybody wants to register to vote, they are here prepared to do that with you. Refreshments are here. Please help yourselves. And we look forward to being together again. And thank you again and again for coming out this evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, this is Mayor Warren again at the PCC, where the community has come together to communicate with the police and create a dialogue. One of the things out of that dialogue came, what are we doing with COVID-19 and how can residents and those who have some expertise get involved? I am here with Dr. Bozeman, a longtime health expert. Dr. Bozeman, we're talking about a healthcare committee here in Orange where the public can have access. And you've been asked by me and my staff, how do we put that together and what kind of input we need?
Well, I think what the real important thing is that we get accurate information to the community. That right now we know that there are so many different and varied information sources. And so what we want to do is to form a committee that will allow us to bring accurate, up-to-date, scientific data to the community that allows us to put into practice that are valid, reliable, evidence-based, and that we can use on an everyday basis to protect ourselves, because we know that we have been disproportionately affected by this experience, and we want to make certain that the things that you've already put in place will keep us safe, keep us in a period of the productivity that you've established. We want to certainly make certain that we remain in this safe period right now, and we want to make certain that we are looking at all of the factors that will keep us where we are.
That's right. We can't rest on our laurels and just celebrate the fact that our numbers have gone down. We have to continue and we have to strive to bring more information, accurate information. Dr. Bozeman, while I have you on, I want to get a commitment from you that you're going to bring to bear many of the institutions that you've advised over your career to be part of our effort here.
I'm going to do everything that I can because, you know, our lives are at stake. And I don't think people realize that they don't take it as serious as they should. That right now this is a life and death issue, and because our lives depend upon it, I'm going to do everything I can, because I'm going to live to be 106.
Right.
Those of you who want to join me,
That's right.
they're going to have to get on board.
That means she has 60 more years of living, at least. But we're certainly going to make sure that we continue our efforts here in the city of Orange Township to make sure our health, our public health, is a priority, because only together can we beat the coronavirus. This is the PCC in Orange. We're in the parking lot of Bethel Baptist Church. We had an outdoor meeting with the PCC. Everyone came out. I have some veterans of PCC meetings. Not only did they come out as a couple, but they brought their family out. And I know it's hard to tell, but that is the mother. That's not one of the children. This is Dad. But I want to go to some of, and we have a young one here. He's our retirement ticket. He's going to bring us in. But I want to go to the baby just to give you a perspective on the enlightenment of families in the city of Orange Township, what we think about police, and what we think about our health. Young man, what are you doing out here today?
I'm just with my mom. I'm with my mom, just chilling with her, because I don't really have anything else to do. It's boring.
What are you doing at home during the COVID?
I'm doing homework that my mom gave me, and after that, I have free time to do whatever I want.
Listen to the priorities. Doing the homework first that his mom gave him, and then he has his free time. That was unrehearsed, by the way. He came up with that himself, because that's how it's done. Dad, you brought your family out here. Why is it important? We're in the church parking lot, and they say a family that comes out to meetings together stays together. Why is it so important to have everyone with you?
My mouth, because a family that prays together stays together, and I believe that it's important that we get involved with our community, know what's going on in our community. And it's like, when I grew up, we were raised by the community. That's right. So it's like, if I see this child doing something wrong, I could at least step to him and tell him that, hey, you're doing something wrong, and I'm going to tell your mom. And the moms would know that, hey, Dwayne says something about you, and they know that, it's not me just picking on them. It's just like we watch over each other.
Of our community.
That's right.
Community, raising the community, that's what it's all about here. Another smart one in the family has come out. You've been in school during COVID. You've been studying during COVID. Tell me how the grades have been.
My grades have been pretty good. I've got almost high honor roll. I was off by 3 points in math, but I still got accepted into 9th grade math, even though I'm going to 8th grade.
A level ahead, miles ahead. This is what family does when they come out. Now, you have all the wisdom, and I know you're telling at least Dad what to do.
No, this is my neighbor. This is my good neighbor.
Yeah.
But these are actually our neighbors, and they're right across the street. So we break bread together all the time.
Tell me, being a neighbor with these smart people around you, how has it influenced the neighborhood and made it a better place to live?
Well, I can only speak for our small little area. We live on Tremont Court, which you're going to pave soon.
What are we going to do there?
Yeah, we're going to fix the street light too. Yes, you're going to fix that too. No, but we have a really good community on our street, and we would like to expand it. We go walking throughout the community. The 2 miles we've walked pretty much the entire city of Orange. We meet a lot of our neighbors, and they see us out. We get to recognize each other. I saw a lot of people, even from their school, the parents here today. So it's a nice community.
There's a saying that says that if a community continues to work together, house by house, you do your part, I do my part, the street does its part, and the community does its part. Is there any truth to that kind of saying?
Absolutely. You can go back to like Google Maps a few years ago before we moved and see what that street looked like. And when we came there, they came from New York. We were just one town over in East Orange, but we fixed up our house and we made it what we wanted it to be. And all the other neighbors do the same thing. We help each other out. These lawn bags are gonna go to good use. We cut our grass together every week. And we just help each other out in that way. So the street looks...
This is how a community thrives. We come together and we all do our part. I want to bring the community advocate, the mayor of the block, on this side, if you could. because there is an issue in the neighborhood with regard to paving and with regard to safety in terms of the street light. And then I'm also going to cheat a little bit. We're having the garden tour, and haven't seen anybody from your block on the garden. So if it's a nice garden, you got to let us know.
You need to come see my house. Oh, because we do the landscaping art. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
He did a wonderful job.
All right, before we leave, you got to tell us.
We all do it.
We all do it. We all do it. All right, cut this part out. We didn't cheat on the garden tour. The garden tour was already there, so make sure we know about that. On Tremont Court, this family came because they wanted to know about police relations generally, but they also have two specific issues that they wanted to bring to our attention and have done so. And you've been successful and creative about bringing that to my attention as mayor and actually getting your street on the agenda for paving. And now we're going to have shortly an interview with our town engineer about the street light. Tell me what that kind of advocacy is like.
For the pavement.
And tell me, is it something that happens quickly, or do you have to advocate, bring it to the attention, be at meetings?
Okay. I have been living here for 4 years. I've been bringing it to every meeting. I've not stopped, so I need to get it done because it's just feeling like I'm talking to the wayside. But we live on a very tight community block. We are very tight. It's 9 people on that block, 9 houses, and we are all close like family. We all break bread. We feel comfortable, but we also would like to feel safe in our neighborhood because people come in. We live on a dead-end block, so people come in, drive in, and then they make a turn. So we don't know when they look at the block and it's quiet, and they say, "Oh," they scope and they look. They sit there on our block. So we pretty much we actually watch our own block. But we'd like to have some lights on the street so we can be more vigilant in the seeing who's sitting out on our blocks. It will help us out a lot, so that's what we're advocating for, new lights and definitely for the street to be paved.
Issues, issues, issues. That's what today is all about, and that's what conscientious neighbors do. They fight for their block to make sure they get the resources that they need. Certainly they got my attention, they got the attention of our city engineer who will be there to look at street lights. But that's how it happens. It took them time, but you have to be engaged and you have to be involved. That is the real theme of tonight. And whatever you do in your community, do it together, build it out, and we can build a better Orange together. Thank you. That's what we have here. This family, Tremont Court, well represented. All right,
One more thing.
You up? Okay.
I just want to shout out your tax department. Even though I haven't been able to go and pay my taxes, I like to pay them in person so I can see the faces behind the window, and the water department as well, because I also bring up the street to them too. So.
Nice. Department's working very hard, even under COVID conditions. Though we didn't open the building, we still try to extend services with a friendly smile. So you too, if you want to pay your taxes, we'll certainly be happy to collect and make sure that we do it with a smile. I want to thank you guys for all that you do in the community.
Thank you.
Together, we can beat the coronavirus. Just standing here amongst academic excellence. Just tell me how you did in school.
I did very well. I had all A's and 1 B, and I missed by 3 points in math.
What are we going to be when we grow up?
A neurologist.
Sir, we did well in school.
I had honor roll.
And what do you do in your spare time?
I do homework, and sometimes my mom lets me play on my PS4.
You're also a scholar athlete, is that correct?
Yes. I used to play for the Bengals.
What position?
Running back and defensive back.
Running back and defensive back. Here's what the athletes in the room need to know, that you have to be a scholar athlete because he's going to use his athleticism to get him into the scholarship and then into the pros. I'm going to call my friends at the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Miami Dolphins, to make sure he gets in. And any injuries we get on the field, of course, we're going to turn over to our doctor here and make sure we got it all right. City of Orange Township, just letting you see part of my retirement plan. Over and out. All right. Thank you, guys.